how do you feel about last year, 2024? How did that go for you?
Well, I have said that I would not want to repeat 2024 again. There were just several things that happened for me as mayor that were things I do not want to repeat again. My husband found out that he had cancer. We had some surgery, and he pretty much crashed in our home from the surgery and had to be sent to the ER, and it was about a 6-hour surgery after that, and we didn't know if he was going to make it or not. So that clearly was very stressful. We had the Sonia Massey, the killing of Sonia Massey by a Sangamon County deputy at the same time while that was going on in my life. So those are two events that were very tragic that I never want to repeat again. So I'm glad 2024 is over and we're starting fresh in 2025.
And what effects from 2024 do you foresee carrying over to this year?
So clearly there's a Sonia Massey Commission that had been created, and we're looking to commemorate Sonia Massey in our community. But I can tell you that the killing of Sonia Massey has made our community aware of the mental health crisis we have, not just in our community, it's across the whole country. There's really not enough mental health providers and not enough resources for folks who might need some mental health assistance to have. So that's something that we're focusing on now, which is something that's going to spill over and kind of continue on more than just a year. It will take a while to get all of that set up.
Thank you. And on the topic of continuing on, what are you looking forward to in 2025? What are your goals for this upcoming year?
Sure. So in May of 2025 will be my anniversary of being the mayor for year 2. I'll start my second year then. It's been almost 18, 19 months now, but I can say that some of the initiatives I've started, we want to build on. Those initiatives that we want to build on would be our neighborhood police officers and our zone managers. The zone managers are people who work, there are 5 of them for the whole city. The two wards share one zone manager each. And they are people who go out into the community, work with community members, and they are eyes on the street who report problems, whether it's broken sidewalks, broken gutters, trees down. And those are people that are loving their job, engaged in their communities they work in, but maybe not every neighbor in the community knows they're there and they're the resource. So engaging more into the community so that they know those resources are there. And the same with our neighborhood police officers. When I took over as mayor, we only had 5 neighborhood police officers for the whole city. Now we have 10. So making sure each community knows who their neighborhood police officer is, the resources that are available to them through the neighborhood police officers. When I've gone to different neighborhood association meetings with the NPOs, the neighborhoods are excited and want to do neighborhood watch programs again. So that's reoccurring more community engagement. So those are 2 pieces of community engagement we really want to focus on. Carry that over into our public works department. My community deeply cares about the condition of their streets, their sidewalks, and the pickup of their leaves and grass, their clippings. So in order to make life a little easier for the citizen and the community engagement with Public Works, we have an app that we'll be launching, and it's called See Click Fix. And the neighborhood or any constituent, if they see something that's a problem, they can use the app on their phone, report it to Public Works, and then watch the progress of that problem. So more community engagement so the community feels like they have their finger on the pulse of what we're working on for them in their area. Those are just community engagement pieces. Lastly, with community engagement, I do want to, one of our previous mayors, Tim Davlin, had an initiative called Springfield Green. I want to recreate that with a public-private partnership to create more green, beautiful spaces in our community. So I would like to work on that with community engagement also. We do want to work on economic development. As you know, we created and have 2 warehouses coming to Springfield in 2024. That was a huge accomplishment, and we want to build on that. We want to create more industry, more jobs for our community to enjoy. In 2025, the sports park is going to open, which is going to be super exciting, and that's going to create more jobs and more development in that area as well on MacArthur Boulevard. So creating development there. And then I would say lastly, one of the other things that I think we also need to remember is downtown Springfield needs some attention. I've been working with DSI, and we're actually in engagement with some developers who want to look at some of our buildings that are downtown that are not being utilized to their best potential because they're vacant and they're empty, and looking to revitalize those spaces. So we're working with some developers on that. And then the unhoused community is also a big initiative. I've been working very closely over the past 60 days with Josh Sabo from Heartland Housed and the county to put an assessment together, a true assessment of what our gaps are in our services for our unhoused so that we can fill in those gaps, look for the funding for those gaps, and make sure that we're doing the very best we can for those folks.
Sounds like a very busy year ahead.
It is, yeah.
So, do you have, aside from that, do you have any personal projects working on? Anything that particularly drives you to see completed?
I would say one of the things that drives me is creating a cohesive work environment for our team members at the City of Springfield. We are budgeted for close to 1,400 employees, but we're never ever there because we always have, openings and jobs that we're hiring for. But making sure that everyone that works for the community works, because our employees are our community workers. They are out in the community servicing our community, making sure that they feel like they're part of a team here and that we have each other's back. And that starts from the director level down. So I do engage with my directors. We meet once a week. We go over what's going on in everyone's agency so they all can hear from one another. I have director retreats where we get together in an afternoon and talk about our goals and how we're doing with accomplishing those goals as a group together so that we can feel like we're a team. So my personal initiative is making sure that our team members that work for the city feel valued and know how much they're important to us. And then from there, just making sure that we at the city, again, listen to the community and their needs. And the biggest complaint I typically get would be something that might go on in Public Works, where like right now the big complaint is some of our waste haulers are not being responsive with people's garbage pickup. So those are the things that the community cares about deeply the most. So we want to make sure we're most communicative with those things with the community.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any events coming up you're looking forward to? Anything else coming up ahead?
Well, I already had a meeting this last week for the St. Patrick's Day Parade with those folks. That's coming up in March, and our community loves that event. No matter how cold it is, you will see so many people out for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. So that event is a great parade and a great event, and I recommend anyone and everyone come out to that. That's in March. I always look forward to the Illinois State Fair. I love the Illinois State Fair. You'll find me out there a lot during fair time. I missed a lot of the fair this past year because of my husband's sickness, and that's over, and we can move forward. So you'll see me there as well. And then I've talked to Scott Dahl, who is our Convention and Visitors Bureau Director, about Memorial Day weekend. We used to have a motorcycle race at our fairgrounds during Memorial Day weekend, and that has now been moved to October. And so we need to look at creating something exciting going on in Springfield over Memorial Day. So that's something I would like to do in the next year or two, is also make sure there's something going on around Memorial Day for our community to engage in and have a great time with.
Thank you so much. I don't have any other questions. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I just want to say thank you. I would like to say thank you to all of our constituents in our community, the people who care, who give us their feedback and tell us what their needs and their priorities are. Our aldermen and alderwomen hear from them. I hear from them. The clerk and the treasurer hear from them, and so do my zone managers. Community engagement is how we set forth a lot of our priorities, whether it's repaving roads, repaving sidewalks, fixing curbs and gutters and sewers. So the community feedback is very important, so I want to thank the community for that. My favorite part of my job, and I will say it all the time, is when I get to engage with our students. I love engaging with our students at any school or any community event I can go to because that's our future. And I really want to make sure our students know how much we value them because they are the future of our community.
What else that happened last year had an impact on everything?
Yes, so as you know, downtown Springfield had a huge fire, the biggest fire in over 50 years in downtown on Adams Street. And it created a buzz of less people coming downtown because one of our most popular restaurants in our community, Cafe Moxo, was affected by that fire. And so less people were coming downtown because the cafe was closed. So definitely that fire, the biggest fire in 50 years downtown, was a terrible thing. I do have to commend the Springfield Fire Department because I had mayors from other communities call me and say, how did you not lose the whole block? Because a lot of communities, when a fire like that starts in an older building, the entire block goes. So they contain that fire to the area. So that's a big kudos to them for us not losing the entire block there on Adams Street. So we're trying to work on with the developer who had the buildings that got burnt, how to revitalize that area downtown. And as you know, through after COVID, the costs to build anything have just skyrocketed. So the expense to rebuild is far greater than what the insurance premium would pay back when he got his insurance payout. So we're just trying to work with the developer there on making sure we can try to assist that person in rebuilding that space. And then one of the buildings next door was damaged through water and smoke. And those building owners are actually working through a process right now trying to decide what to do with that building. So there is still a lot of activity that needs to happen on Adams Street. And that did affect other businesses downtown because we had less people coming downtown then. So we definitely have to keep a focus on that, and I don't want to see a fire like that again.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more videos from News Channel 20.